to Tungal online classes. In the last concept what we discussed the introduction part of the electromagnetic waves and Maxwell's equations we discussed, and we also discussed the source of the electromagnetic waves, and also we completed the nature of the electromagnetic waves. Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the electromagnetic waves. So in that first we will discuss the momentum and the radiation of pressure exerted by the electromagnetic wave. Momentum and radiation pressure exerted by the electromagnetic wave. Already we know that from the definition of the wave, if a wave will be considered which is carrying the energy and the momentum from one place to the another place, that means whenever you consider any type of the wave, that wave will be having a definite energy as well as definite linear momentum. So here which type of waves we consider here means, here we consider the electromagnetic waves. So if you consider the electromagnetic waves, these electromagnetic waves are traveling with the speed of the light. The electromagnetic waves are what? Traveling with the speed of the light. Hence, according to the Einstein mass energy relation, we will write the energy of the electromagnetic waves is given by what? E is equal to mc square. So from this I want to calculate the momentum of the electromagnetic wave. So here in general in our textbook notation, NCERT notation, the energy is represented by capital U. U is equal to mc square. It can be written as mc into c. What is the c there? The speed of the light or the speed of the electromagnetic wave. So the product of the mass into speed is nothing but a linear momentum. So that the linear momentum will be given by U is equal to, this term will be written as a p. P is indicating what? Linear momentum. Therefore P is equal to what? U by C. So this is a general expression for the linear momentum of the electromagnetic wave. Here two different cases are there. Suppose we consider a reflecting surface. Over this surface, electromagnetic radiation was incident, and whatever the radiation was incident on that given incident surface, if that radiation is completely absorbed by the surface, if the incident radiation was completely absorbed by the given surface, at that instant the momentum transferred from the electromagnetic radiation to the given surface is given by, once again, whenever a radiation was incident on the given surface, if the incident radiation is completely absorbed by the given surface. Suppose we will assume the black body. So over the black body, if any type of radiation was incident, that radiation was completely absorbed by the black body surface. So that whenever we consider such type of surface, whatever the electromagnetic wave radiation we consider, if it is completely absorbed by that corresponding surface, at that case, the momentum transferred from the radiation to the given surface, is given by P is equal to U by C. Suppose if you consider the another surface, so whenever on the second surface, if the radiation was incident over that corresponding reflecting surface, and whenever the incident radiation is completely reflected back, completely reflected back. In this case, the amount of the momentum that is transferred in between the radiation to the corresponding surface is given by, so that is taken as, let it be P2, this is a P1. So P1 is a what? Momentum transferred whenever the radiation was completely absorbed by the given surface, and P2 will be taken as the momentum transferred by the electromagnetic radiation to the given corresponding surface, that is given by P2 is equal to 2u by c. P2 is equal to what? 2u by c. Already we know that in the case of the collisions, whenever the body will be striking with a velocity v with the vertical wall, momentum transferred is equal to mv. Whenever it is reflected back with the same speed again, change in momentum value is equal to what? 2 into m into v. The same phenomena we applied here. Whenever the radiation is completely absorbed, the momentum transferred is equal to what? U by c. Whenever the reflection will be takes place, whenever the radiation is completely reflected back, at that instant, the momentum transferred from the radiation to the given surface is given by 2u by c. So this is the concept of the linear momentum of the given electromagnetic wave, So whenever this radiation is having a definite linear momentum, whenever this radiation, which radiation we consider here? Electromagnetic radiation. Whenever the electromagnetic radiation is having a definite momentum, and if it is striking the given surface for a particular amount of the time, it is also exerting an external force. Already we know that according to the Newton's second law, F is equal to dp by dt. F is equal to what? dp by dt. So whenever the momentum will be existing for the given electromagnetic radiation, so the radiation is also exerting an external force over the corresponding incident surface, so that whenever the radiation will be acting a force, over the given surface, the pressure will be developed. Pressure formula is equal to what? Force exerted by the radiation over the given unit area of cross section. So how can we define the radiation pressure? The force exerted by the electromagnetic radiation, per unit area of cross section, will be defined as radiation pressure. So here also two cases we consider. One of the cases of what? Whenever the incident radiation is completely absorbed by the incident surface, at that instant, the radiation pressure. So capital P is indicating what? Pressure. So we will write P suffix radiation means radiation pressure is equal to I by C. What is the I here? Intensity of the radiation. Here I is indicating what? Intensity of the incident radiation. So that whenever we consider electromagnetic radiation, which is having a definite intensity, and that is also traveling with the speed of the light. So such a type of radiation was incident on the given surface, and which case we consider here? Whenever the radiation is completely absorbed, whenever the incident radiation is what? Completely absorbed. In that case, the radiation pressure which was exerted by the incident radiation is given by P radiation is equal to what? I by C. So this is for the first case, whenever the radiation was completely absorbed. And for the second case, what is the second case? In the second case, whatever the electromagnetic radiation we considered, that will be inciding on the given surface, and again it is completely reflected by the incident surface at that instant. So the radiation pressure can be written as 2I by C. So this is the case for reflection. If you consider the case of the absorption, so the radiation pressure value is equal to what? I by C. Whenever the radiation is completely reflected back again, so the radiation pressure which was exerted by the electromagnetic radiation over the corresponding incident surface is given by P radiation is equal to what? 2I by C. So this is the concept of linear momentum as well as the radiation pressure which was exerted by the electromagnetic wave. Now the electromagnetic spectrum. How can we define the electromagnetic spectrum means? So in the case of the electromagnetic wave, different types of electromagnetic waves we have. What are they? Gamma rays, X-rays, UV, IR, visible and microwaves, radio waves. So different types of electromagnetic waves are there. So that how can we define the electromagnetic spectrum means the electromagnetic spectrum is defined as the orderly distribution of the electromagnetic waves, the orderly distribution of the electromagnetic waves according to their either frequency or wavelengths into a distinct groups will be calling as electromagnetic spectrum. Once again, how can we define the electromagnetic spectrum? So it is defined as orderly distribution of the electromagnetic waves, according to their either frequency values or wavelength values into a definite groups. Such a division will be calling as a what? Electromagnetic spectrum. See the definition of the electromagnetic spectrum: the orderly distribution of the electromagnetic waves, according to their either frequencies or the wavelengths, either frequency values or the wavelengths values into a distinct groups is called as electromagnetic spectrum. So in the electromagnetic spectrum, magnetic waves, we have different type of radiations are there. So what are they? The first one is gamma rays. First one is what? Gamma rays. And the second one is what? X-rays. And the third one is what? UV rays, ultraviolet radiations, UV rays. And the fourth one is what? Visible radiation. And the fifth one is what? IR. And the sixth one is what? Radio waves. So here, and also microwaves. So electromagnetic spectrum, first we are going to discuss about the gamma rays. So here the first point is, we will discuss about the point wise. The first point is, who are discovered the gamma rays means these gamma rays are discovered by Becquerel and Curie. So the gamma rays will be discovered by whom? Becquerel and Curie in the year of 1896. So the gamma rays was first discovered by the scientists Henry Becquerel and Curie in the year of what? 1896. So what is the wavelength range of the gamma rays? Already we told. So all these electromagnetic radiation will be divided according to their either frequency values or wavelength values. The wavelength of the gamma rays will be existed in the range of 10 power minus 14 meter to 10 power minus 10 meter. The wavelength range of the gamma rays will be existed in the range of what? 10 power minus 4 meter to the 10 power minus 10 meter. Okay, next. What is the source of the gamma rays means? The source of the gamma rays. From where these gamma rays will be generated means the gamma rays will be generated from the radioactive elements. So that the source of the gamma rays is nothing but the radioactive element. Either artificial elements or natural radioactive elements. So whenever the radioactive elements will be undergoing the decay process, already in the nuclei we discussed alpha, beta, gamma decays are there. Whenever the radioactive nuclei will be undergoing the radioactive decay, so this type of gamma rays will be emitted out. And what is the use of the gamma rays? Where we are using the gamma rays means, so these gamma rays will be used in the medicine for killing the cancer cells. So to kill the cancer cells, we are using these gamma rays. So this is the information about the gamma rays. So first one is nothing but X-rays. So the second electromagnetic radiation is the what? X-rays. So in the first one we told gamma rays will be discovered by the scientists Becquerel and Curie. So what about the X-rays means? These X-rays are discovered by the scientist. These X-rays are discovered by the scientist Röntgen in 1895. So who invented the X-rays means these X-rays are invented by the scientist Röntgen in the year of 1895. There in the case of the gamma rays, you told the wavelength range of the gamma rays is from 10 power minus 14 meter to 10 power minus 10 meter. In the case of the X-rays, the wavelength range of the X-rays, is from 10 power minus 13 meters to 10 power minus 13 meters to 10 power minus 8 meters range. So in the range of these wavelengths only, these X-rays will be existing. Once again, what is the range of the wavelength of the X-rays means? The range of the wavelength of the X-rays will be existing from 10 power minus 13 meter to 10 power minus 8 meter. Next. Here we will discuss the source of the X-rays. So in the case of the gamma rays, you told the gamma rays will be generated from the artificial or natural radioactive substances. So here how the X-rays will be produced means whenever the high energetic electron beams will be incident on the target elements, at that time different wavelengths of X-rays are produced. So what is the source of the X-rays means? So whenever high energetic electron beam will be incidenting on the target metals, at that instant different rays are scattered in different directions. So in that case these X-rays are produced. So this is the source to generate the X-rays. So whenever high energetic electron beam will be incidenting on the target metals, X-rays will be produced. So next, what is the use of the X-rays? Where we are using the X-rays? So to find the bone fractures, these X-rays can be used. So in the first uses, the first one is what? To find the bone fractures in a human body. We are using the X-rays. So for which purpose we are using the X-rays means to find the fractures in the bones, we are using what? X-rays. Next, second one is what? To study the crystal structures. To study the crystal structures, again we are using the X-rays. So X-rays can also to be used for which purpose? To study the crystal structures, we are using the X-rays. To study the crystal structures or the structure of the solids, we are using which type of rays? X-rays we are using what? X-rays. And whenever these X-rays are incidenting on the photographic plate, these X-rays will be affecting the photographic plate. So whenever the X-rays will be incidenting on the photographic plate, they will be affecting the photographic plate. So that these X-rays are affecting the photographic plates. So these are the properties and uses of the X-rays. Once again, whoever discovered the X-rays means the X-rays will be discovered by the scientist Röntgen in the year of 1895. Next, what is the wavelength range means? The wavelength range of the X-rays will be given by from the 10 power minus 13 meter to 10 power minus 8 meters. What is the source? Whenever the high energetic electron beam will be incident in the target metals, they will be producing the X-rays. And what is the use to find the bone fractures, to study the crystal structures? We are using the X-rays. And whenever these X-rays are incidenting on the photographic plate, they will be affecting the photographic plate. So this is about what? X-rays. Electromagnetic waves is nothing but UV radiation. UV radiation. See here. The UV radiation was first discovered by the scientist Ritter in the year of 1801. So the UV radiation was first discovered by whom? So the UV radiation was first discovered by the scientist Ritter in the year of 1801. So that these UV radiations are discovered by the scientist Ritter in the year of 1801. Next. So once we wrote the who was discovered the UV radiations, now we will write the wavelength range of the UV radiation. So the wavelength range of the UV radiation is given by 4 into 10 power minus 7 meters to 6 into 10 power minus 10 meter. 6 into 10 power minus 10 meter. So what is the wavelength range of the UV radiation means? The wavelength range of the UV radiation means lambda is equal to 4 into 10 power minus 7 meters to 6 into 10 power minus 10 meter. Next. What is the source of the UV radiation means? What is the source of the UV radiation means? So here it is the part of the solar spectrum. So the UV radiation is a what? It is a part of the solar spectrum, so that sun is the main source for the UV radiation. So what we will tell, it is a main part of the solar spectrum, so that sun is a major source. Sun is a what? Major source for the UV radiation. Next. How can we generate the UV radiation means? From the arcs of the mercury and iron lamps. From the arcs of the mercury and iron lamps, we will get the UV radiation. So that the another source for the UV radiation means what? Arcs of mercury, iron lamps. Arcs of the mercury, iron lamps are the another source for the UV radiation. Next one. So whenever already we told that UV radiation is a part of the solar spectrum, so that whenever the radiation which is emitted by the sun, it is passing through the atmosphere and that is traveling towards the earth. While the radiation is transmitting through the atmosphere, most of the UV radiation will be absorbed by the which layer? Ozone layer. Will be absorbed by the ozone layer. While the UV radiation is coming from the sun surface, most of the UV radiation will be completely absorbed by the ozone layer. If it is not absorbed by the ozone layer, that UV radiation will be directly incidenting on the human bodies and living animals. So whenever that UV radiation is directly incidenting on the human bodies and living animals, they will be causes what? Skin diseases. So that whenever the UV radiation is directly incident, so they will be causing what? They will be causing the skin diseases. Because some of the properties of the UV radiation. So here UV radiation is we are saying that it is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So that the UV radiation is nothing but a electromagnetic wave. The UV radiation is nothing but a what? Electromagnetic wave. In the last class I told, if we consider the electromagnetic wave, those are traveling with the speed of the light. Those are traveling with the speed of the light. So here we are saying that the UV radiation will be the electromagnetic wave, so that the UV radiation is also traveling with the speed of the light, which is given by 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. The UV radiation is traveling with what speed? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Next, here we know that the light will be exhibiting the phenomena of reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction and polarization. So here also the UV radiation will be obeying the principle of reflection, comma, refraction and interference. So here if you consider the UV radiation, whenever the UV radiation is inciding on the reflecting surface, the UV radiation will be reflected back. Again, it is undergoing the refraction whenever it is inciding on the transparent medium, and it is also obeying the principle of interference phenomena. So that here the UV radiation will be obeying the principles of reflection, refraction as well as the interference. Next, already you know about the concept of photoelectric effect. So whenever the UV radiation is inciding on the zinc cathode, that zinc cathode surface will be emitted the photoelectrons, so that the UV radiation will be applicable or used in the concept of the photoelectric effect. That means whenever the UV radiation is used, whenever the UV radiation is incident over the given metallic surface, so that UV radiation will be releases the photoelectrons from the corresponding surfaces. So it will be applicable or it will be used in the concept of the photoelectric effect. Next, if you incident the UV radiation on the glass surfaces, through the glass surfaces, the UV radiation does not be passes. So that the UV radiation does not passing through the glass materials. So it does not penetrate, does not pass through the glass materials. But the same UV radiation will be passing through the materials like quartz, rock salts. So whenever the same UV radiation was incident over the surfaces of the either quartz or rock salt, it will be penetrated, it will be passes through that substances, but it does not passing through the glass substances. These are the properties of the UV radiation. Next, we will see what are the uses of the UV radiations or the applications of the UV radiations. Where we are using the UV radiations frequently means, the first one is to study the crystal structures. We are using the UV radiations to study the crystals or molecular structures. We are using what? UV radiations. By using the UV radiations, either we will study the crystal structures or molecular structures. For that purpose, we are using the UV radiation. Next, this UV radiation will be killing the bacteria. Whenever the UV radiation will be incident over the bacteria, they will be killed. So it is having the ability to kill the bacteria. So that this UV radiation can be used. In sterilizing the surgical equipments. So here the UV radiation is having a property to kill the bacteria, so that this UV radiation can be used in sterilizing the surgical equipments. So for that use also we are using the UV radiation. Next, the third one is, just now only we told, it will be used in the concept of the in the phenomena of the photoelectric effect, so that this UV radiation can be used in burglar alarms, which can be frequently used in the mines, so that in the production of the burglar alarms also the UV radiation can be used frequently. These burglar alarms can be used in where? Mines, dangerous gases, to detect the dangerous gases. So this is the complete information about the UV radiation. The fourth one is what? Visible rays. So in the electromagnetic spectrum, so many types of radiations are there: gamma rays, X-rays, UV, visible, IR, radio, microwaves. Out of all these radiations, the one and only the radiation what we detected by the human eye is nothing but visible rays. So that the only radiation which is detected by or identified by the human eye is called visible radiation. The one and only the radiation which is detected by the human eye in the electromagnetic spectrum will be calling as a what? Visible radiation. What is the wavelength range of the visible radiation means? The wavelength range of the visible radiation means, in generally we are writing that 400 nanometer to the 700 nanometer, or 4 into 10 power minus 7 meter to 7 into 10 power minus 7 meter, which is taken from the violet to the red. So the wavelength range of the visible radiation means, so the wavelength range of the visible radiation is what? 400 nanometer to the 700 nanometer, which is measured from where to where? Violet to the red. So what is the source of the visible radiation means? So the visible radiation will be reflected from the given objects, So this is the basic information about the visible rays. The next radiation is IR radiation or infrared rays. So here, who was discovered the infrared rays means? The scientist Herschel will be discovered the IR radiation. What is the IR radiation means? It is nothing but hot radiation. Sometimes IR radiation is also calling as a what? Hot radiation or hot waves. So that the IR radiation is nothing but it will be calling as a what? Hot radiation. So what is the source of the IR rays means? Every hot body will be emitting the IR rays. Even our human body will be also having some temperature, so that if any one of the body will be having a definite temperature value, that body will be emitting the IR radiation. So that what is the source of the IR radiation means? Every hot body will be emits the IR rays. But the 60% of the IR radiation will be emitted from the sun surface. Since the sun is more hotter, maximum IR radiation will be coming from the sun surface only. So that 60% of IR radiation will be coming from the surface of the sun. And already we told this IR radiation will be related to what? Temperature. If any one of the body will be having a definite temperature means that the body will be emitting the IR radiation. So that here whenever the IR radiation was incident on the given bodies, they will be increasing the internal energy of the given body. They will be increasing what? Internal energy of the given body, as well as they also increasing the temperature of the given body. They also increasing what? Temperature of the given body. So this is about introduction part of the basic information about the IR radiation. IR radiation. We will discuss some of the properties of the IR rays. Already these IR rays is the part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The IR rays is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So that these IR rays are the electromagnetic waves. The IR rays is a what? Electromagnetic waves. If these IR rays will be calling as the electromagnetic waves, with what speed they will be travel? So that these IR radiation will be traveling. These IR radiation will be traveling with a speed of 3 into 10 power 8, which is equal to the speed of the light, which is equal to the speed of the light. Since they will be the part of the electromagnetic spectrum, so that these are calling as the electromagnetic waves, and they will be traveling with what speed? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So similar to the UV radiation, the UV radiation is exhibiting the phenomena of reflection, refraction and interference. So this IR radiation is also exhibiting the phenomena of reflection as well as refraction, interference and diffraction. So the IR radiation will be exhibiting what type of phenomena? So it is exhibiting the phenomena like reflection, refraction and interference and diffraction. Next, whenever this IR radiation are incidenting on any one of the body, whenever the IR radiation will be incidenting on any one of the body, the temperature of the corresponding body will be increases. Temperature of the corresponding body will be increases. Since we are saying that the IR radiation is nothing but hot radiation, is nothing but what? Hot radiation. So whenever this type of IR rays will be incidenting over any one of the substance, they will be increasing the temperature of the substances. They will be increasing the temperature of the substances. And the next point is, whenever this IR radiation will be incident over the photographic plate, they will be affecting the photographic plate. They will be affecting the photographic plate. The another property is it will affects the photographic plates. It will affects the photographic plate. Next, whenever this IR radiation is incidenting the molecular substances, the energy of the IR radiation, will be converted as, the IR radiation energy will be converted as molecular vibrations. That means whenever the energy of the IR radiation is absorbed by that molecular substance, whatever the molecules are present in that substance, they undergoes the vibration. So that whenever the IR radiations are incidenting on any one of the molecular substance, the energy of the IR radiation will be giving the molecular vibrations for the given substance. And the next point is, the scattering of IR radiations will be very small. The scattering, what is the meaning of the scattering? Bending away from the initial direction of the motion. So that whenever the IR radiations are traveling in the given medium, they undergoes less scattering. Even in the fog and smoke, we will see the objects by very clearly by using the IR radiations. In the night vision cameras, we are using the IR radiation, since they will be undergoes less scattering, so that they will be penetrate, they will be travel more longer distances in the foggy or smoky conditions. So that for that purpose we are using the IR rays. Next, see the applications of the IR rays. The first application is by using the IR radiations, we can detect the coal deposits which are present inside the earth. So the first application is what? To detect the coal deposits inside the earth. To detect the coal deposits inside the earth, we are using the radiation that is nothing but what? IR radiation. So by using this, what we have to find? We are finding the coal deposits which were present inside the earth by using the IR radiations. And the second one is, so here the IR radiations are used in the case of the solar water heaters as well as solar cookers. Already we told the IR radiation is nothing but what? Heat radiation. So that in the case of the solar water heater, by using the sunlight we are getting the hot water. So in the construction of the solar heaters as well as the solar cookers, we are using what? IR radiations. Next, already we told the IR radiations will be getting less scattering. Because of that, even in the smoky or foggy conditions also, we will took a very clear pictures by using the IR cameras. So by using the IR cameras, we will took a clear photographs. In smoky and foggy conditions by using with the help of the IR cameras. And the next one is, these IR radiations can be used for dehydrating fruits, so that this IR radiation can be used to what? Dehydrating the fruits. So for a dehydration of the fruits, which type of radiation we are using here means IR radiation. Next one is what? Here, these IR radiation will be giving the electrical energy to these satellites. The IR radiation will be giving what? Satellites. While the satellite is revolving around the sun or any one of the planet, for them some electrical energy is needed. That required electrical energy is provided by the IR radiation. So that the IR radiation will be giving the electrical energy to the satellites. And in our houses also we are using the IR radiations. In the TV remotes and the Wi-Fi systems, we are using the IR radiations. So in the TV remotes and the Wi-Fi systems, we are using which type of radiation? IR radiations. So these are the applications or uses of IR radiations in our daily life. Concept is microwaves. Microwaves are short wavelength waves. So here, who was discovered these microwave means? So these microwaves are discovered by the scientist Hertz. So he was the first to discover the existence of the microwaves. And so here, in the case of the microwaves, we will measure its frequency values instead of their wavelengths. So here, the range of the microwaves will be given by, its frequency range will be from 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz. 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz. So 1 giga means what? 10 power 9. So here the frequency range of the microwaves is given by 1 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz. Next, what is the source of the production of the microwave means? So by using the A special vacuum tubes, by using special vacuum tubes, those are calling as magnetron and gun diodes. By using the special vacuum tubes which are calling as magnetron as well as the gun diodes, we will be producing the required frequency value of microwaves. So what is the source of the microwave? Means the source of the microwaves is nothing but it is produced by a special vacuum tubes which are calling as a what? Magnetron and gun diodes. And for which purpose we are using these microwave? Means mainly these microwaves are used for the communication purpose. So in the radar and telecommunication purpose, mainly we are using these microwaves. The main purpose of the microwaves is what? Mainly we are using the radar and telecommunication purpose. We are using these microwaves. And also by using the microwaves, we will also study the molecular structures. We will also study the molecular structures with the help of the microwaves. We are also studying what? Molecular structures with the help of the microwaves. So this is another advantage of the consideration of the microwaves. Next, whenever these microwaves are sending onto the any one of the substance, their temperature value will be increases. Their temperature values will be increases. Or if any one of the substance will be absorbing the microwaves, their temperature will be increases. So this is a basic information about the microwaves. Next, the application of the microwaves is microwave. So the most familiar device we are using in our houses or in bakeries or any shops is nothing but microwave. Now, the application of the microwaves is a microwave. So for which purpose we are using the microwave? Means for heating either for heating or cooking the food items. Either for heating or cooking the food items, we are using the microwave. What is the main purpose of the microwave? Means either for heating or cooking the food items, we are using the microwave. So what is going on inside the microwave when we are placing the food items? If you took any one of the food item, the food item is consisting of water content. The food item is consisting of what? Water content. So if you consider the water content, so water content of frequency is equal to 3 gigahertz. The frequency of the water is a what? 3 gigahertz. So whenever such type of food item will be placed inside the microwave, and when we switch on the microwave button, the microwave will be sending the microwaves. The microwave will be sending what? Microwaves. So which type of waves we have to choose? Means already we know that the water molecules will be having the frequency of 3 gigahertz. So that we are also sending the microwaves whose frequency is also equal to 3 gigahertz only. So which type of microwaves we have to choose? Whenever we are placing the food items inside the microwave, they will be having the water content, and the frequency of the water content will be equal to what? 3 gigahertz. So whenever we switch on the microwave, they will be releases the microwaves. They will be passing through the microwaves through the given food item. So whose frequency also must be equal to what? 3 gigahertz only. Then only that a food item will be cooked or heated very quickly. Like that we have to choose the frequency value in the microwave oven. Next, Whenever the microwaves are passing through the given food item, so the water molecules what are there present that in the food item, they will be absorbing the microwaves, they will be absorbing the microwaves. As a result, their temperature will be increases, their temperature will be increases. As a result, those food items will be either heated or cooking very fastly, very fastly. Next, whatever the food items we have to consider, in the case of the microwave, those items will be placed in a separate bowl. They will be placed in a separate bowl. That bowl will be calling as porcelain container. That bowl will be calling as a porcelain container. That separate bowl we have to use in the case of the microwave oven. So, the porcelain container is having the property that it does not absorbing the microwaves what are released by the microwave container. So that whatever the waves which are produced by the microwave oven, they are directly absorbed by the water molecules which was present in the food item, so that those food items will be cooked very quickly. In the conventional cooking, first the container will be heating, for that some energy will be utilized. Later, whatever the food items will be placed in that bowl, they will be heated. For that purpose, lot of amount of energy will be consumed. So that to save the energy, we are using the microwave. In that, whatever the energy will be supplied, that is directly absorbed by the food content only, that should not absorbed by the whatever the container we consider in the case of the microwave, that is calling as a what? Porcelain container. Porcelain container. Next, in the case of the microwave, we does not use metallic containers or metallic bowls. Why we does not use the metallic bowls means, whenever we are sending the microwaves through the microwave, those microwaves will be absorbed by the metallic containers or metallic bowls. So inside the microwave, because of its high frequency, high energy will be passing through the food items. Whenever the high energy will be passing through the metallic container, they may also melt. Sometime while we are taking out from the metallic, whenever we are taking them out, maybe we will get the electrical shock also. So that we does not use the metallic bowls or metallic containers inside the microwave. So this is the working of the microwave. So this is about what? Microwaves. Next we will discuss the concept of radio waves. Radio waves. So how these radio waves are produced means, the radio waves are produced by the accelerated charged particles while they will be passing through the conducting wires. How these radio waves are produced means, the radio waves are produced by the accelerating charged particles while they will be passing through the conducting wires. These radio waves are produced. For which purpose we are using the radio waves means, these radio waves are used for the radio as well as telecommunication purpose. These radio waves are used for which purpose? Radio as well as telecommunication purpose we are using the radio waves. And what is the frequency range of the radio waves means, the frequency range of the radio waves is given by 500 kilohertz to the 1000 megahertz. The frequency range of the radio waves is what? From the 500 kilohertz to the 1000 megahertz range, these radio waves are existed. Again, these radio waves will be divided into different bands, different range of frequencies. In that, the first one is what? amplitude modulation. For the amplitude modulation communication purpose, what range of frequencies we have to choose means, we have to choose the frequencies in between 530 kilohertz to the 1710 kilohertz. So already we told the radio waves can be used for which purpose? Communication purpose. So for the communication purpose, three different types of communications are there. One is amplitude modulation, frequency modulation and TV. So that for the amplitude modulation, we are using the radio waves whose frequency is in the range between 530 kilohertz to the 1710 kilohertz. Next, for the TV communication, we are using the radio waves whose frequency will be given by from the 55 megahertz to the 890 megahertz. In this range of frequencies can be used for the TV communication. Next, FM modulation, frequency modulation. For the FM modulation, frequency modulation communication purpose, we are using the frequencies range from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. So for the frequency modulation communication purpose, we are using the frequency range in between 88 megahertz to the 108 megahertz. So this is the concept of the radio waves. So this is about electromagnetic spectrum, different types of radiations we discussed. So this is the electromagnetic waves topic. So this topic is finished. So in the next class we are going to start the ray optics.